All right, this question is very general, main purpose of the text. So let's just go to the text and don't worry about all the details, just like what kind of overall ideas do you notice? So it's adapted from this short story. An elderly shop owner is looking at a picture that he recently acquired and hopes to sell. So picture, recently acquired, hopes to sell. Cool. It did seem that the picture failed to fit in with the rest of the shop, so that's negative. A persuasive young fellow who claimed he was closing out his stock let the old man have it for what he called a song. It was only a little out-of-the-way store which subsisted chiefly on the framing of pictures. The old man looked around at his views of the city, his pictures of cats and dogs, his flaming bits of landscape. Don't belong in here, he fumed. Okay, so again, we're failed to fit in, doesn't belong. And yet the old man was secretly proud of his acquisition, so proud. There was a hidden dignity in his scowling as he shuffled about pondering the least ridiculous place for the picture. So he's looking, I don't know, the picture is good and bad, I don't really know. I don't know what's going on. Let's look at the choices. To reveal the shop owner's conflicted feelings about the new picture. Okay, well, yeah, there we go. Conflicted feelings, right? That's a positive and negative. So it fails to fit in, that's negative, but he's also proud of it, so that's positive. Maybe that's an oversimplification, but for now, I'm going to leave that choice in because we definitely have this negative and positive connotation, so we have no reason to get rid of it, at least. B, to convey the shop owner's resentment of the person he got the new picture from. Well, resentment is negative, so okay, there's some negativity, but what is the negativity kind of focused on? It seems like he's negative about the picture, not about the person. Do they really even talk about the person he got it from? A persuasive young fellow who claimed he was closing out his stock let the old man have it for what he called a song. So it says he's persuasive. That's an expression. If you have it for a song, it means it's kind of cheap. Yeah, they're not criticizing the person who sold them the picture, so that's just wrong. C, to describe the items that the shop owner most highly prizes. Well, no, hopefully you just kind of sense that overall that's not it. It's really about this one picture, not about all the other pictures. But I would also say a very scary word in this choice is the word most. We have to be careful of words that talk in extremes or start to quantify things. And this is definitely doing that. We're not ranking all the other pictures. We're talking about this one picture. So words like most are scary, and we always have to kind of really think about whether or not it's justified by the lines. And choice D, to explain differences between the new picture and other pictures in the shop. That's definitely tempting, but you have to be careful here. So let me think how I can explain this. I would say it's swapping the main character. And we have to be flexible with that word character, right? So in a sense, they're like, oh, the main character is this old man who's got this new picture. Yeah, he's the main character. But in another sense, right, the main character is the picture itself, this picture that doesn't belong, that doesn't fit in, right? That is the thing that he keeps talking about. You know, maybe you don't call it the main character, maybe you call it the main idea, but like, to me, that's the thing that keeps coming up. Now, this choice has two main characters, right? It's that same picture, but also all these other pictures. And that's not really justified by the passage. If he mentions the other pictures, it's very briefly, right? There's like cats and dogs, but it's not really getting into detail about them. And then that kind of gets to the other part of the part of the problem with this choice. It's not really explaining the differences. It's kind of hinting that there are differences, right? This one new picture doesn't belong with the others, but it never really gets into them. And a good thing that you can do a lot of times when you have a choice that you're unsure of is maybe turn it into a question, right? So if it does explain the differences, turn that into a question. What are the differences between the new picture and the old picture? If you can't answer that question, then the choice is probably wrong, because then the passage doesn't really actually have that detail. So D is close. I think a lot of people are going to pick it, but A is definitely the right answer here. It's much more general, which is good for us. It doesn't get into the kinds of feelings. It just says they're conflicted. And in a very dumb summary kind of way, we saw that this guy is talking in sort of like negative terms about the picture, but also very positive terms. That is what it means to be conflicted, is you have good and bad feelings about something. And so we don't need to get into any more detail. That one idea is definitely justified, whereas choice D has things that we would really need to stretch these lines to be able to prove. So if you've got two choices and one just kind of fits more nicely, don't overthink it, go with that one.